YouTube, what's up? Jamar, Vegas Sense, new video, and this again is going to be from another new fragrance house, and that goes by the name of Zaharoff. Alright, so Zaharoff is a fragrance company by George Zaharoff, and I reached out to him via Instagram because I had been seeing things about this particular fragrance, the Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme, and he was really kind enough to actually send me a small little sample, as well as this 4-ounce full bottle of the Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme. So just a little background about Mr. Zaharoff. Basically, he started his own women's fragrance line in the 1990s, built it into about a $3 million business, and he had about 30 fragrances that he was selling in Nordstrom, Neiman Marcus, and Bergdorf Goodman. So, he was in about 40 stores, and then, that was a lot of fragrances to have. And the company became so successful that a company called Escada actually tried to buy his company. And he struck a deal with them, and basically the day that he was actually going to sign the papers to push all of this through with Escada, that was actually the day that 9/11 happened, and the Escada company was based in New York, I guess right around where the attacks happened. And so after that, that pretty much shut that Escada company down. And as a result of that, as well, because of some other things, he actually had to file bankruptcy. So it's pretty amazing to see that, after all of that, because that's probably the worst luck that you could have, he's back selling, obviously this fragrance, and he sells clothes as well. So, definitely he's overcome adversity a lot. Definitely got to respect that out of him. And so back to the fragrance here. Again, this is Zaharoff Pour Homme. It comes in a really, really nice box. And you see here it has that's his logo for his company there. And I have seen some other fragrances that were actually back in the 90s. I think I saw one that was called like Zaharoff, and I think that was like the actual name of the fragrance as well. And it had the same exact logo on the box. But anyway, you get this, and it's kind of like this like gold plate. It's not like metal or anything like that. It feels like it's made out of the same material that this box is made out of. But you have this little gold plated face here on the case. You have his logo right there. You've got some of the information as far as like the barcode and stuff like that on the bottom. Ingredients and his website on the back. And then he personally hand wrote a note on the back of my box here. So he said, "Best wishes, Jamar," and he wrote his signature. So really, really nice presentation. And then when you open the box here, you can see that the bottle sits in there really nicely like that. And he has a little thing down here that gives you a quote. And the quote is actually different on each box, or each bottle that you get. So the one that I have here, it says, "I invoke positivity." And that's definitely one thing that I get a lot of, when I look at his page, when I look at videos that I've seen he's done. He really seems like a super, super positive guy. And I could see why he's, a successful person in life, because he definitely invokes positivity. So on the back here, you've got this. It says, something special awaits you. And then it has here number 303 of 500. So I don't know if that means that only 500 of these bottles were made, or if it's 500 of these particular notes to say I invoke positivity. I'm not too sure about that. But I definitely, I like that. I like that a lot. And the bottle here, you can see it's a really tall, solid looking bottle. From what I've seen from other reviewers, I've seen that basically this bottle is supposed to be like a flask. That's the shape it's supposed to take. And then the cap here is supposed to represent a crown. And the cap is on there pretty good. Does snap into place. I would say definitely you could pick this bottle up by the cap for sure. It's not gonna go anywhere. So that's the presentation. You know, again, it's a really, really nice presentation. As far as the smell goes, what I do want to do first before I, completely go over the smell is I just want to go over some of the notes that are actually in this particular fragrance. Because this fragrance, what I will say is, obviously it does have oud in it. And, that is a note that, I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't really have, as a matter of fact, I would say this was actually the first fragrance that I've owned that had oud in it. I'm not like the biggest fan of like super woody fragrances, where like woods is pretty much the main focus of the fragrance. I don't really like super floral fragrances either, where florals is like the overall smell that you really get. I do have some fragrances that have heavy floral notes in them, but they don't smell super floral. So those are the fragrances that I really don't like. Now, just going over the notes here, in the top notes you have lavender, black pepper, juicy pear, fresh cardamom, and blue cypress. In the mid you have temple oud, Florentine iris, ginger root, blind cedar, fir balsam, pimento leaves. And then you have in the base olibanum tears, creamy sandalwood, gold patchouli, black amber, skin musk, and Haitian vetiver. So this particular fragrance is classified as a woody aromatic, and it is definitely an aromatic fragrance. And I tend to like really aromatic type fragrances. Now, even though it has, the temple oud and, some of the other woodier notes, this, to my nose, smells more so like sort of like a fresh, almost barbershop type, fougere type of fragrance. But at the same time, I would say it's not really a barbershop fragrance at all. I would say it gets maybe some of that barbershop type of smell from like the lavender that you get in the top notes. But again, it's not like a super barbershop-y type of fragrance at all. This really, to me, it smells, it does have a mature appeal to it, but I would say anybody probably over 25 could still wear this and, could pull this off just fine. So it's not like a super old man type of scent, but it does smell very gentlemanly. I would say mature, professional. So, it definitely is a fragrance that, I would say is definitely work safe, because it's not like a super loud scent either. It's very fresh, very aromatic. I think it could maybe get out of control if you sprayed too much of it. But even with that being said, typically when I spray this, I spray about 8 sprays on me. I normally go 4 sprays on the neck, 2 on the chest, and then like 2 on whatever shirt I'm wearing. And it never gets to a point where it becomes cloying or overpowering. Again, it's a really aromatic type of scent. And even though it has oud in it, I would say don't let that sort of stray you away from this particular fragrance, because it's not like a super oudy, skankish smelling fragrance. This is really, I would say, one of the most mass appealing oud fragrances that I've smelled. Now, I do have only a few, oud fragrances at this point. And again, like I said, this one was definitely the first. But smelling some of the other oud fragrances that I've smelled here recently, this is one of, I would say, the safest oud fragrances, or fragrances that have oud in them that you could possibly smell. So as far as the performance goes on this fragrance, I would say the performance on this is pretty average. So far I've been getting about maybe 5 hours or so of longevity, and you get, I would say, maybe moderate projection out of it for probably about the first 45 minutes to an hour. And then after that, it does get a lot closer to the skin. It doesn't become a complete skin scent, but again, it's very aromatic. So you get, whiffs of it, very easily when you move around. You kind of smell it going through the air. So this definitely has a really, really good sillage for sure. So, again, the performance is not beast mode, but I think if the performance was beast mode, where this was like a really, really loud projecting fragrance, I think it would kind of damage the appeal of it. It's not really a fragrance that's trying to reach out and grab anybody's attention. It is very pleasant and subtle, and I think that that's the approach that, George is going after with this particular fragrance. So as far as occasions to wear this particular fragrance, I would say that this fragrance, it is pretty versatile, I would have to say. Like, I would definitely feel comfortable wearing this to work. I would definitely feel comfortable wearing it in like an upscale situation where I'm dressed up. I actually wear this casually. I love coming home from work, taking a shower, and just throwing this on for the rest of the night. I really love wearing it like that. Would I wear this on a date? Not the first date. I wouldn't wear it on the first date. Maybe if this was a person that was familiar with me and, the scents that I have, and that person smelled this on me and really liked it, then it would definitely be a fragrance that, I would reach for on a date, because again, it's not too overpowering or strong, and it's really aromatic. So I think it could go well in those types of situations, but I would say maybe use this in those situations with caution, because obviously everybody is not gonna like, a scent like this. I wouldn't say that this is overall a mass appealing scent. All right. So overall, if I'm just giving a rating on this fragrance for me gets a good 9.5 out of 10. I really, really, really enjoy this fragrance. And, again, I was sent this fragrance for free. So that in no way, influences my review of this particular fragrance. I genuinely love this fragrance. If I didn't like this fragrance, I would either say so, or I just wouldn't do a video on it at all. And I do really, really, really like this fragrance. Like I said, this is my introduction into a fragrance that has oud in it, and I really do enjoy this fragrance a lot. All right, so this size bottle, which is the 4-ounce bottle, that's the biggest one that you can get. This one goes for $155, I believe, from Nordstrom, and it's actually a Nordstrom's exclusive. And the 2-ounce smaller bottle you can get for $95. So in terms of price, it is on the higher end, but I would say the quality of this fragrance definitely justifies that price for sure. It absolutely does. This is not a cheap smelling fragrance. The quality of it is definitely top notch. All right. So go ahead and check this one out. Again, you can find it on shop.nordstrom.com. So yeah, definitely go ahead and check this one out. That's Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme. Jamar here, Vegas Sense. I'll see y'all in the next video.